Welcome to the David Pakman Show. I am guest hosting while David is away. My name is Jesse Dollemore. You may be wondering, why me? Well, let me tell you a little story. The other day, David came up to me and he had tears in his eyes. And he said to me, Jesse, sir, please, sir, would you guest host my show for me? And I said, okay. So that is why I'm here. Anyway, my name is Jesse Dollemore. I host the Dollemore Daily on YouTube. I host a podcast called I Doubt It, and you can find me everywhere that there's social media. My handle is @Dollemore. Creative, I know. Let's talk about some good news today. I apparently drew the short straw or the long straw, or maybe I just lucked out and happened to be on my guest host day that Donald Trump is now facing his fourth indictment. Arrests all around in a wide-ranging indictment related to his attempted overturning of a free and fair election, this time specifically in Georgia. The Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, has indicted 19 people on a total of 41 counts in a wide-ranging speaking indictment that is 99 pages that goes into granular detail about this plot, this scheme, and a lot of it involves racketeering. Donald Trump and his team are facing all kinds of prison time. Now, I want to go through the list here of who these people are. Some of these people you will recognize. There is one unindicted co-conspirator that people believe is Tom Fitton, the Judicial Watch goof, the guy who wears polos and T-shirts that are like 6 times too small for his frame, for whatever reason. But here are the people that have been indicted, are now facing many felony counts. Donald Trump, ex-president. Rudy Giuliani. Mark Meadows. I'll just go through first the ones that I think you'll know, and then I'll go through the others. Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff. John Eastman, the Trump lawyer who drafted the memo and the legal strategy relative to the fake electors. Kenneth Cheesebro. Jeffrey Clark is a man who Donald Trump attempted to put in as the interim, the acting attorney general of these United States. Jenna Ellis, who has up to this point been free from legal trouble other than the potential threat to her law license, I believe in Colorado. And Sidney Powell, the woman who forwarded an email to Maria Bartiromo from a woman who claimed that the wind tells her she's a ghost, but she doesn't believe it. That email also contained a wide, meandering conspiracy theory about Dominion voting systems, brought to you by, again, Fox News and Maria Bartiromo. Now, some of these lesser-known individuals, Robert Cheesley, we got a Kenneth Cheesebro and a Robert Cheesley. He's a lawyer who promoted fraud claims. Mike Roman, a Trump campaign official. David Schaefer, the Georgia GOP chair and fake elector. Sean Still, a fake elector. Stephen Lee, who's a pastor tied to intimidation of election workers. Harrison Floyd, leader of Black Voices for Trump. Trevian Kuti, a publicist tied to intimidation of election workers. Kathy Latham, fake GOP elector tied to Coffee County breach. We've seen the video. Hopefully you've seen the video. You're staying apprised enough to have witnessed the closed circuit security footage of the Trump team gaining access to illegally take voter information off of a voting machine. Scott Hall, tied to the Coffee County election system breach. Misty Hampton, Coffee County election supervisor. And Ray Smith, a Trump campaign attorney. All of these people now face a myriad of charges. They face myriad charges in this indictment. I'm not going to cover them all, but I do specifically because this is a day of celebration. This is a day where we can raise our heads high because two things are happening here. One, Donald Trump is one step closer to accountability. That's one. Number two, these are state charges. Many contend these are the charges that Donald Trump is most afraid because of the fact, one, people think he can pardon himself. I'm not of that opinion, but he cannot be pardoned by a president. If a Republican wins in 2024, God forbid, and it's not Donald Trump, that president cannot pardon Donald Trump for these crimes. These 13 counts he's facing, 13 felony charges in this one indictment. These are what they are, just for Donald Trump. Violation of the Georgia RICO Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, conspiracy to commit filing false documents, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, filing false documents, solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, false statements and writings, solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, false statements and writings. Those are the charges. Again, I know you don't need to be reminded. I know David's audience pretty well. I know my audience pretty well. I know that you don't need to be reminded that Donald Trump is the ex-president of the United States. This is an historic moment that justice is likely to be served to Donald Trump in this case. And moreover, this absolutely, without doubt, is not just a Donald Trump problem. This, my friends, is a Republican problem. All of those people that I named are a part of this. That some likely were led astray by Donald Trump, believing the nonsense and the subterfuge and the misdirects and the the grift of Donald Trump. But many of these people are true believers. Most probably of these people really did believe Donald Trump should remain in office. I don't believe they believed he lost or he won the election, but I do believe they believed he needed to stay in office, whatever the means, even if that means ending democracy in America. And that is what would have happened. If Donald Trump was put back into office extra democratically, extra constitutionally, it would have been the end of democracy in America as we know it. And now they face arrest. Arrest warrants have been issued for them. And here is Fani Willis herself announcing it late into the evening, given a date for their voluntary surrender on August 25th. Check this out.
Election result. Subsequent to the indictment, as is the normal process in Georgia law, the grand jury issued arrest warrants for those who are charged. I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily surrender no later than noon on Friday, the 25th day of August, 2023.
So there will be action in court that day, and Donald Trump will have to appear in court now that, again, the ex-president of the United States of America has another arrest warrant, a warrant issued for his arrest. Now, at the end of the press conference, a reporter asked about what do you say about all of Donald Trump's claims that this is weaponization, this is an attack, this is just partisanship run amok? What do you have to say about that? Well, here's Fani Willis in her own words answering that question.
Conversations.
Arguments made by former President Trump that this is a politically motivated indictment.
I make decisions in this office based on the facts and the law. The law is completely nonpartisan. That's how decisions are made in every case. To date, this office has indicted, since I've been sitting as a district attorney, over 12,000 cases. This is the 11th RICO indictment. We followed the same process. We look at the facts, we look at the law, and we bring charges.
Have there been conversations about the terms of surrender?
Will you try this case yourself,
Has
Ms.
the jury
Willis?
been cleared?
Sit down. Sit down.
That seems to me to be a prosecutor driven by not ambition, not politics, but a woman driven by justice, by a desire to have an equal level playing field for everyone, where justice is dispassionate and justice is blind. There is no two-tiered, or at least there should not be. And in this case, absolutely there is not. This has been an exhaustive investigation, and they're getting to the facts.
We are constantly seeing data breaches in the news. It never ends. Verizon had a breach this year exposing millions of users' data. T-Mobile had 2 big breaches this year exposing the personal data of 37 million people. It's a disaster. These companies have a record of everything you do online. And after these breaches, almost anyone can access your data. The real solution is don't let the company see what you're doing in the first place. And that's why I use private internet access. Keeps my data hidden from my internet service providers, from hackers, from others. I can use it on all of my devices with one account. Most VPNs log your internet activity. Private internet access is the only VPN to prove multiple times in court that they don't. This makes them unique. Works with all major streaming platforms, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, to access content not normally available in your country. Private internet access is giving my audience a huge 83% discount. You can subscribe for $203 a month and get 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.